any honey, it don't matter shots. Till I drop, gonna be 24/7, golden hour like a boss. And they say, yo, guess you got a 2 o'clock appointment for a champagne shot, oh yeah. I'm busy trying to take it higher, got no time for never, only spending cheddar. Wish I could do this forever. Chilling with the hottest company, they all wanna welcome me to their private penthouse suite.
MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes, and another yes. It does not matter who the host is. It matters who is hanging out on that other side of the section here as we are doing our thing together and hanging out on this lovely Thursday. So yes, today's Thursday, August the 4th of 2022. Let's see, day 216th of the year. So what does that mean? That means we got a 149 left to go. So anyways, how have you been? How are things going? How have you been hanging? How have you been banging? How have you been moving and grooving and doing all of the loveliness that you get to do? Anyways, that is fantastic. I hope everything has been going grandioso on wherever the hell you are located. Anyway, so let's talk about it. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. That is the important portion as we are talking. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues, you know, that take care of us all over the place.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Yes, Radio Big, USA, Canada, and UK. We get to hang around with them and do all kinds of stuff on their station, as they do house the music side of the house, so it's kind of a fun side if you get to do so. So let's see, let's take a look around and start talking about what is trending in the overnight, because, you know, that's always important. So let's start talking about this. First thing off the bat, hashtag canceled Netflix was trending Wednesday after streamers canceled another same-sex relationship-based show. So there you go. That was a hashtag. And then the View, the few who still tune into The View were upset on Wednesday of the return of the conservative host, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, and her differing opinions from her liberal table mates. One user accused Hasselbeck of forcing her beliefs. Yes, forcing her beliefs on others, and that it's a hypocrisy at its finest, folks. That's what they're saying. And then social media users wished actor Martin Sheen a happy 82nd birthday. So that was some stuff that was going around and all that kind of fun stuff as we were hanging and banging yesterday. So what do you think? Do you care about any of that stuff? I don't know. Anyways, if you want to interact with the show, it's kind of a simple process in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. There will be 3 options there: video, audio, and messaging. I will tell you the most successful ones always appear to be the messaging side of the house, just in case if you were wondering about that portion. So there you go. That will put you into the interaction of the show. Here's what we do here as we hang out in the morning and do all our fun stuff. We talk about safety. We talk about the news. We talk about the news and safety in the news. And then we bring in some professional broadcasters that will tell us about all of the greatest virtues that are going on in the world. Oh, hold on. Is that what it is? Yes, that will tell us about a little bit of everything that is going on. And then we kind of come back, talk a little bit about it, and then put it in a big package with a bow, and then move from there. That's it. That is how it goes, and that is how it moves, and that is how it grooves, and that's how it goes forward. That's it. That is the move from there. So with that being said, I can cue up our professional broadcasters, let them take it away, and let them tell you what the hell's going on in the world today.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Closing arguments are expected today in the Russian trial of American athlete Brittany Griner. The two-time Olympic gold medalist was arrested at a Moscow airport in February after a small amount of cannabis oil was found in her luggage. She's facing up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Flags at the Capitol are being flown at half-staff after a U.S. Congresswoman has died in an accident. Mark Mayfield with the story.
President Biden is offering his condolences to the family of Indiana Republican Jackie Walorski, who died Wednesday in a car crash near Fort Wayne that also killed 2 of her staff members. Biden and the First Lady said Walorski was respected by members of both parties. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Wednesday that the 58-year-old Congresswoman lived a life of service.
A major announcement is coming from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this morning. His spokesperson said the announcement is not campaign-related after some on Twitter speculated he might announce a 2024 presidential run. A lawyer in the Alex Jones defamation trial is using Jones' own text messages against him. Ben Collins explains 2 new revelations from the final day of the trial.
First of all, he had been saying that he was making about $150,000 to $200,000 a day with InfoWars. Turns out it's probably almost 4 times that, sometimes $800,000 a day. That's over the course of a year, it'll be about $300 million a year.
The prosecutor revealed evidence that contradicted Jones' claim of bankruptcy. In the trial, Jones insisted that he never sent a text message about Sandy Hook, but in cross-examination Wednesday, a lawyer for the parent said Jones' attorney had accidentally sent him 2 years of Jones' text messages, which included texts about the Sandy Hook shooting. Jones is being sued by the parents of a child who died in the Sandy Hook shooting for spreading a conspiracy theory that the 2012 massacre was a hoax. Wednesday's hearing was to determine how much money Jones will have to pay the parents. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Chris Jones. China has fired 2 missiles close to Taiwanese territory, according to its state-run media. Hong Kong is expected to announce an easing of quarantine rules for incoming travellers on Friday. New data reveals that Russia became India's 3rd biggest coal supplier in July, and Europe's biggest nuclear power station is completely out of control, according to the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Taiwan says it's preparing for war without seeking war after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei. Trey Thomas reports.
Taiwan's military made the announcement Thursday after China began 4 days of military drills in reaction to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei. A Chinese state broadcaster announced the start of the organized live fire drills at midday local time in 6 areas around the island. 10 minutes before the drills, Taiwan's Ministry of Defense issued a statement saying troops at all levels will conduct daily training. I'm Trey Thomas.
An abortion provider is sidestepping bans by performing the procedure on boats in federal waters off the coast of Alabama. Abort Offshore President Michael Kimbrough says the operation is running smoothly without any complications, despite doubts from state officials.
Our doctors were abortion providers, so to them this is pretty quick and simple. We haven't had any complaints.
Abort Offshore primarily serves patients in states like Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. A who's who of Republican politicians will be in Dallas today through Sunday for the 2022 Conservative Political Action Conference. Nova Southeastern University's Dr. Charles Zeldin says former President Trump is the headline speaker Saturday, signaling he could be ready to announce his 2024 campaign by the fall.
He is running. Whether in the end he's on the ballot or not is another matter. But he is definitely running right now, going to CPAC. He's holding rallies.
Trump won the straw poll at the last CPAC with 59% supporting him, while Florida Governor Ron DeSantis came out on top when Trump's name was removed. U.S. gas prices are on the decline for 7 straight weeks. America is now approaching an average price of $4 a gallon. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Attention business owners. Are you receiving all the employee tax credits you have coming to you? A tax refund program provided for by the CARES Act of 2020 could be worth thousands. Employee retention tax credits, or ERTCs, are a fully refundable payroll tax. You may be eligible for up to $26,000 per employee per quarter. At Lifetime Advisors, we have a team of experts dedicated to the ERTC program. We work with businesses of all sizes, both big and small, to claim the money that they're entitled to. It's your money, and we can help you get it. Call Lifetime Advisors today at 1-877-851-0005. We'll send you a short questionnaire to see if you qualify. There is no obligation, but this is a limited time program. Don't miss out. Call 1-877-851-0005. That's 1-877-851-0005 to get the ERTC money you have coming to you. Lifetime Advisors.
The WorkWise Summit is an interactive 2-day gathering that will bring like-hearted leaders together like never before as we discuss ways to better align HR, safety, and operations around one common goal: creating the future of work together. Day 1 will focus on self-performance with talks with leading experts on how to live and lead at our best. Day 2 will focus on organizational performance with discussions on what we can do together to break down silos and foster action. The Work Summit will take place at Coker Tire Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Thursday, September the 22nd and Friday, September the 23rd. For more information, go to worksbees.com/Y Summits. That's WORKZBE.com Y Summit.
While other wireless companies raise their prices, Mint Mobile has taken a different approach. You can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Let's say that again so you hear it right. $15 a month for unlimited premium wireless. Why would we do that? Because we can. If you're paying too much for your wireless phone, it's time for a Mintervention from Mint Mobile. You can sign up today at Mintervention.com. Premium wireless for just $15 a month at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, it should be magical if you don't consider it. There you go. Anyways, currently 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do together, because that's always a thing to do, you know, stuff together. Because if we weren't doing stuff together, then we'd be doing stuff apart. And then who wants to have that conversation at this point? So anyways, let's get back into it about some things that were going on inside of the world of the news. So taking it from the very top of the hit list is not that hard to do, so let's talk about it. Elon Musk doesn't travel on his own Gulfstream jet. He wants his own airport too. Yep. He reported he's building his own private airfield that has the same distance for Tesla Austin, Texas facilities and the headquarters for the Boring Company, which is working on building underground traffic tunnels to ease congestion. Let's see, Austin Airport would be closer, but likely isn't as fast with staffing delays and other logistical headaches. So there you go. When you're the richest man in the world, you can do stuff like that and say, hey, this is what I'm opting to do, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, I guess that's kind of the way that it works. Anyways, in an exclusive report, the Wall Street Journal reveals that credit reporting firm Equifax sends faulty scores to countless lenders, causing borrowers to get denied or pay higher interest rates than they should have. The error was caused over a 3-week period of March and April and affected millions of reports related to car loans, mortgages, and even credit card applications. Those affected were contacted in the beginning of May. It's expected that the bad news for Equifax, which was hacked back in 2017 and released private information on almost half of the country, affecting 150 million Americans. So now here's where you start asking the question. You start going, well, what do I do now? Because if I decided to get into some Yeti, what do I do? Do I contact them and say, hey, listen, it seems like it was a false report based on what Equifax said. Is it possible for you to lower my interest? I mean, I don't know. Maybe something to think about. So speaking about debt, let's talk about this real quick. Americans' aggregated credit card balances rose about 13% year over year, making this the highest level in 20 years. I'm going to tell you this, and I mean, I know that this is not stuff that's, life-changing, but I will reference it right away. If you are in debt and you have that revolving interest rate on your credit card, I'm going to tell you the money's going to cost you a shitload more money now than what it did in the past. It's not a fun game to play. That is for sure. I will tell you, if you're trying to get out of the house of debt, it's kind of an easy, well, let me not say that it's easy because that's a lie. It is time consuming and it takes time. But if you do take a listen to what Mr. Dave Ramsey has to say with his Financial Peace University stuff, it'll get you there a lot quicker. Live like no one else so later you can live like no one else. Believe me, that is not a paid ad. That is a life-changing event if you go through it. I'm being 100% there. I know the impacts and horror stories that can happen when it comes to some of that stuff. Anyways, let's continue talking. A 61-year-old Englishman recently found that he's been spelling his name incorrectly his whole life. He goes by Alan, A-L-A-N, but recently found his birth certificate to find that his name was spelled Allen with 2 L's, A-L-L-A-N. He said that his parents had always spelled it with 1, 2, but he's convinced that it was an oversight or clerical error for whoever filed the certificate in the first place. And it gets worse. He says that he has 2 tattoos of his own name, which is weird to begin with, but that's a whole other story, but won't go through the trouble of formally changing anything. So think about this for a second. All of a sudden, you have a tattoo with your name on yourself, which, is odd within itself, but all of a sudden you have decided that you are not changing anything about it because, well, that's just not what you're going to do. It's not worth the pain of changing the 1 letter on the name. I mean, I guess I understand. I mean, I guess I always have that weird question of is it Alan with 2 L's or 1, and then the E and the A always play a factor depending on who you're talking to. So that's kind of some fun stuff when you start thinking about it.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Yep. Cannot find that mouth today. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of this world. A series of earthquakes triggered by a volcanic eruption in Iceland on Wednesday. The volcano last erupted last year and then went on for about 6 months. No serious damage has been reported yet, and flights were rerouted on the abundance of caution. So there you go. Think about that. Oh, yeah, we're rerouting the plane because there's volcanic activity on what is going on over there. Now what do we do?
Duh.
So there you go. Anyways, not only does Florida now have a larger state population than New York in 2021, it boasted nearly twice as many new business openings than the Empire State. New businesses were also up by 27% year over year. Florida added more than 211,000 residents since the start of the pandemic. Because I will tell you, Florida is the land of the weird, and I like it. That's why I'm here, because, I am captain of the weird. That is perfectly fine with me. But yeah, I mean, if you want to live a different type of lifestyle here, not probably what you're thinking, but if you want to live a different kind of lifestyle where there's young people, there's old people, and there's really, really old people, this is the place. And, they have all kinds of interesting freedoms here, just depending on what you're looking for. So there you go. And depending on where you're located, the further, let's see, in Florida, the more north you are in Florida, the more south you are. If you're here, you understand what that means. If you're not from here, you're going, apparently you need a geography exam because you don't understand what you just said. No, I get what I just said. I'm just saying. The further south you actually go here, well, the different cultures you get to see depending on what you're looking for. That's kind of how it works. It's kind of I've been here for about 20 years at this point, and I don't think I would change it. I know that every once in a while I have this illusion of living in California. Maybe it is an illusion, but at some point I'll make it a Baja, California, and that will be the end of that story, and we'll get that over with. That's way too personal stuff. Why am I talking about all this today? Maybe we just need to bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about the market. Let's go from there.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, August 4th, 2022. Equity markets reversed 2 days of losses to advance to a new high on Wednesday following better than expected economic data. Investors cheered hot ISM services and factory orders data, suggesting both aspects of the U.S. economy are regaining momentum. If true, investors should also expect another uptick in inflation as demand puts added pressure on the economy. In other news, oil prices continue to slide and fall below key support at the $96 level following a slight increase in the production from OPEC. This move may trigger additional selling, but the worst news is the implication for the economy. Oil prices are not expected to contract without a major slowdown in activity, and we've yet to see one. In this light, the decline in oil prices is either a precursor to a deeper economic recession or a whipsaw move and buying opportunity. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
I want to understand that better. What exactly is a whipsaw move? It sounds intriguing, to say the least. Anyways, thanks, John Smalls, for that one, letting us know what is going on right there. Take a listen to this, because this is what we found in addition to. I mean, let's be realistic. When John Smalls comes in and he tells you about what's going on, that is a level of perfection of how he gives that information. I just want to give you a little bit more detail. He gives you the grand overview. I just give you the minute, just to have the info there. The Dow closed up 416 points on Wednesday to close at 32,812. The S&P 500 added 63 points to close at 4,155, while the NASDAQ added 319 points to close at 12,688. Crude oil continues to slide downward as buyers anticipate a sweeping recession economic environment. Brent crude was down $97 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate slid to under $92. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $4.16 on Wednesday. Bitcoin lost more than $216 to trade around 22,700 on Wednesday evening, and there was 4,600 flight delays within, into, or out of the U.S. on Wednesday. Do not fly on Wednesday, it sounds like, and 594 cancellations. A company called SJ Data Visualization reports that the cost of going to Disneyland has increased, are you ready for this? By 3,871%. Yes, I'm not stuttering there. Over the last 50 years, well outpacing the increases in wages, rent, and gas. I mean, let's think about this real quick. 3,871%. Listen, I want to go to Disneyland as much as the next person, but holy crap. I mean, that is some expensive stuff, at least if the information is correct.
Oops! Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
And so let's talk about this. I am not a huge fan of this platform, but I'll reference it anyways. A TikTok video of Aquaman star Jason Momoa handing out water bottles to Hawaiian airline passengers has gone viral. Momoa wore a gray suit, necklace, pink flowers in his hair, and he handed out, a Manula water bottles. The video caption, "When Jason Momoa is your flight attendant," has been viewed more than 4 million times since it was posted on August 2nd. Yes, that is the big thing on the charts today, just in case if you were wondering in regards of what is going on. Because, we talk about the charties because that is a big thing as we are hanging and talking about stuff that is going on. Anyways, let's talk about some other things that are hitting the circumference of the circle here. Let's see. More monkeypox vaccine appointments are being made available later today in New York City. Ursula Bauer with the state health department says the demand is still outpacing the supply.
There's not a whole lot that we can do about that right now, other than try as hard as we can to get the vaccines that we have in hand out to those who are at highest risk.
Yeah, the city's health department says that folks will still have to will have access to about 23,000 shots when the city online portal opens at 6 p.m. Normally, appointments fill up very quickly. New York State has more than 1,600 monkeypox cases, which is about a quarter of the United States. Meanwhile, the Loft LGBTQ plus community centers in White Plains is giving out the vaccine today. That's another monkeypox vaccine clinic at the community center on August the 18th. So thank you very much for that one. So there you go. So if you're on the lookout in the New York market, there you go. Anyways, soaring temperatures across the country are getting away, aren't going away anytime soon. That's for sure. The Northeast is bracing for a record-breaking heat this week. A heat wave will be expanding over the region, pushing the afternoon high temperatures to 10 to 15 degrees above normal today. Take a listen to Michelle Grossman right now.
We're looking at that intense heat, that dangerous heat across the country. We're waking up to temperatures near 90 degrees. We're going to see these temperatures soaring throughout the day into the 90s, into the triple digits. You factor in the humidity, it's going to feel like 105 in spots. So the Northeast, we are going to be chasing some records today. Albany, 98 degrees, a record of 98. Newark, we're looking at 98 as well.
So there you go. Daily high records could be broken from Kentucky to New England, New York City. Could see record-breaking high of 94 in Boston. Could reach the daily high of 97. And elsewhere, a heat advisory is in effect for a large part of the state of Texas, including Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio. So there you go. So if you're going to be out today, make sure that you are keeping it cool, if all possible, by staying hydrated and doing all that kind of fun stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about some other things that are going on inside of this lovely world.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, teachers are being schooled on mental health. Listen to this: reading, writing, and arithmetic and mental health. Teachers are being schooled in South Florida. Natalie Rodriguez has more information.
It's not just teachers getting ready for the start of the new school year. Hundreds of teachers, school staff, and more gathered at Ronald Reagan Senior High School in Doral for the Children's Trust Annual Training Conference, an exercise designed to get them trained to identify warning signs in children regarding mental health. Sally Alayan heads the Mental Health Services Department for Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Mental health is just as important as physical health. They're very aware that if they see a child in need, that child needs to be referred. Parents are buying into it also.
The Children's Trust invests more than $16 million a year to staff 150 school-based clinics, and those clinics are the only places where some kids can access health care. Natalie Rodriguez, Miami.
Okay, thank you, Natalie Rodriguez, for that information right there on the things that are going on inside of this world. Take a listen to this real quick. Police are investigating a bloodied woman screaming for help from a truck. Authorities are searching for a woman and truck in New Jersey Jersey, and it what may apparently be a kidnapping. Detective Timothy Hoover says that the witness saw a bloodied woman screaming for help from a tractor trailer cabin, was trying to escape.
She was out of the cab and was yanked back in.
This was yesterday while a truck was pulled over on Route 130. Video shows that the truck was taking off and there was no trailer attached to the cab. So some interesting stuff there. So police are investigating the woman that is screaming. Authorities are searching for the woman in truck in New Jersey in what is making up to be the kidnapping. Let's take a listen. Should we take a listen? Because I'm sure that Scott's going to say something very similar. Let's try this.
Sergeant Timothy Hoover says a witness saw a bloodied woman screaming for help from a tractor trailer's cabin and was trying to escape.
She was out of the cab and was yanked back in.
This was yesterday afternoon while the truck was pulled over on Route 130 in South Brunswick by a car dealership. After the woman was pulled back in, video shows the truck taking off. There was no trailer attached to the cab. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
I feel like we said almost the exact same thing word for word. There you go. That's how the news works, my friends. There you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of this world right now. Take a listen to this. A man who fell into a large machine in Ventura on Monday has died. Daniel Martindale has more info.
The 43-year-old man fell into a machine that collects dust at a manufacturing facility on Monday morning. A team of firefighters freed the man after working for more than an hour. He was then rushed to a hospital. Authorities have not announced a cause of death. I'm Daniel Martindale.
I think we have the cause of some of the damage that occurred. At least it sounds that way. Anyways, with that being said, it is currently 31 minutes past the top of the hour. So I think it is time to do that thing that we talk about right around this portion. So let's go ahead and do that right. Let's do that right now.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So let's talk about this because here's where it's going to get interesting. I have two main stories, if you really want to be honest, for today, and I'm not sure which one to go with because we can angle them however we want, and I want to make sure that we are clear here as I talk about this. This is the 599th show that we have done together. Yes, you and I have done 599 of these bad boys, and I'm not counting any kind of the special guest shows that have come along that timeline, because that was something that we did for a period of time, and then it became passé. Yes, I did say passé. So I've sat behind this microphone 599 times with the purpose of doing something for this show. So with that being said, let's go with my first initial thought, and maybe tomorrow, even though we normally don't do this on Freeform Friday, we'll talk about something a little bit important here. But I wanted to address this, and I want to kind of be sensitive, I guess, to some people in regards of when I bring this up, because it can be mean-hearted or mean-spirited, or however you want to take a look at it. But do you feel that at times, and I am asking that feelings questions because, we have to talk about emotions here from time to time, even though I'm not a very emotional person when it comes to most of my life. But do you feel that you get asked the same thing over and over and over and over when it comes to your work environment? Do you feel that as a safety professional, you get those questions over and over again where you don't know where the hell to go with it? And when I take a look at this and talk about it, I look at it from the standpoint that can we not just say most of the times to our questions that get asked and answered, very lawyer-ish in regards of bringing that up. But also at the same time, here's the catch. Here's where I think that we have the problem. And this is what we need to talk about. Our jobs consist of almost repeating the same thing over and over again. Did you hear me when I say that? Let's try that. Hello? I just want to make sure. Our jobs consist of repeating the same thing over and over again. And I know it can be frustrating at times. And the ask and answer thing would be the best sarcastic answer to give. But that's not it. The thing is that your organization is constantly evolving. It is a living organism that is there, that things are currently changing and always changing, and that's good. That is good. And sometimes it kind of goes great, sometimes it goes bad, but it's always moving. If it's not moving, then there's probably a problem. If I can tell you about one thing to learn inside of this world in regards of what you do for work is to become an effective communicator. An effective communicator. I will tell you, the guy that I admire most inside of the world of this business, of the stuff that we do, my mentor, if I may call him so, is a great communicator. In the way that he can tell stories, in the way that he can describe something, not once, not twice, but hundreds of times, and you hear it and make you believe that it is brand new, every time that he says it, is amazing. It's amazing if you're able to communicate with someone in a way that they want to hear things. And yes, it can become repetitive for you, but it is mind-boggling for the people that it's affecting. The other side is if you can actually develop the technique that is so crucial. And let me explain to you what the technique is. Have you ever been to a presentation, to a speech where somebody's talking and there could be hundreds of people inside of the room and you feel like the speaker is speaking directly to you? I'm going to tell you, it's not that everything really that they're talking about is affecting you. It is something that is taught on how to do that. And if you're able to learn these techniques inside of your organization, you will have more effective communication. I've talked about this at this point for years, it feels like, where we need to learn on how to communicate with people and how to become adaptable. And why do I say adaptable? Because listen, you might be a visual learner. I am an audio learner. I can tell you that because of what I do. And there's some other people that are learned by being tangible. It has to be a tangible thing, which that sometimes is a really good way to learn. But this is the things that you have to think about. You have to adapt to the environment that you're in. So just because one format works for you does not mean that it will work for everyone. So if you can develop the skill of being able to do that, it will get you much further in being able to do your communication piece. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What we do for work is almost impossible to describe if people have never went through it. We're to a level, a version of marketers. And if you really want to go into the deep levels, you're an evangelist. You're a safety evangelist because it's something that people can't touch, feel. It's just something that has to happen. Think about it. If you change the way that you are able to interact with people and the way that you communicate, how can you get things to go further? Listen, we talk about stories in and out, and sometimes some of the stories are repetitive. Let's just be realistic. But I know that I have a set of principles that I want to make sure that we cover and that I'm actually kind of always talking within as we move forward. I know that sometimes when you get to certain portions of the show, the show is not for everyone. But that's the way that it's developed. It's developed in a fashion where certain things will appeal to certain people and other things won't. Because listen, if you want, let's just be realistic, normally the main aspect of what we're going to talk about with the safety side, it normally occurs in this segment. But you have to make it to the middle of the show to be able to see it. Not everybody's going to stick around for that. And I get it. And that's the thing that you'll have to remember too. Your audience are the people that you normally interact with on a daily basis. How are you going to get them to stick around? Think about it. That's the test for today, for sure.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and we're not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
If you're looking for a better job and a better place to live, I have an idea. Move to South Dakota. Yeah, they have many open jobs that pay really well, and the cost of living is pretty low. Plus, it's a great place to raise a family. There's no state income tax, so many people find that alone to be enough to consider the move to South Dakota. If you're interested in learning more, go to movetosd.com to see what they have to offer in the state where they say, "Under God the people rule." Yeah, that's the state slogan in South Dakota. Move to SD.com. That's movetosd.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many of our guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Culture Club, The Cult, Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Graham, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort in Cancun, Mexico. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, The Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Rooftop pool, got a heli on speed. Ocean view from the highest peak. I'm complete. Oh, I want this to stay. Please don't go away. Yeah. Sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me, cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me, cause I'm gonna be on break.
Okay, there you go. Currently 43 minutes past the top of the hour. This is the Rated R Safety Show. This one's right here called Sunny Day, Sunny Day. This is by Adeline Park. Song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Thanks to Adeline Park for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. You know, I can get into some sunny days. Yeah, back in the day, back in the 90s, early 2000s, sunny days are here to stay, especially if you're a big fan of professional wrestling. You'll get the inside Iggy, if you know what I'm talking about.
skies. No clouds in the sky.
Okay, so there you go. Some stuff right there. So let's get back into some tunage. Okay, no, maybe not some tunage. Maybe that I'm thinking the wrong show here. That's for sure. So let's start talking about all kinds of stuff that is going on inside of this world. But before I do that, maybe it is time now to tell you about the most important thing that I'll ever tell you. Seriously. And that's about my friends at the 988 Lifeline. Yeah, that's 988 Lifeline. This is 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help you prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and loved ones. They're also known as being some of the best practices professionals in the United States. Listen, if you are in time of need in regards of needing to speak to someone, all you have to do is call 988 here in the United States or text the word TALK to 988. I'm going to tell you something because I think that this is sometimes where we don't talk. And I'm going to address certain segment of the audience here. And when I say audience, let's just say us because that sounds kind of asshole-ish. Us as a group. For some reason, we are taught not to talk about this. And I don't know why. We're told that, if you're having mental issues, don't tell other people. You just handle your own issue. I'm not saying, hey, listen, go broadcast it to the world. I'm saying if you need help, it's time to talk to somebody. And listen, I would prefer you to give me a call and let me know that you're having a problem than me getting a call that something went catastrophically wrong and I'm going to your funeral. Seriously. Your friends are there for you. There are other people that you might not know yet that are complete strangers that are there for you. Perfect example, this thing. And I know for a long period of time we talked about the hotline, the 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. That phone number is still there. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody in your ORCOS or in your little group or in your little tribe or however you want to call it, you can call this number. And there's someone there to assist you. And that's the thing. We should be able to talk about this and not have any problems or any stigma when it comes to this. So think about that. Think about that. Take the stigma away from this conversation. Let's go ahead and say, listen, there are times that we need to talk to other people. And listen, this can be anything. This can be anything from, hey, listen, I had a friend that committed suicide. I need to talk to somebody. This can be anything related to anything else. And it needs to happen. It just does. I would like to be able to see this become such a standard conversation in regards of us being able to talk about, hey, not everything is fine all the time. And the weird part is, I know that some of our stuff is broadcast on social media, and I think that some of the social media that is out there is some of the biggest bullshit that I've ever seen in my life. Not everybody's life is perfect, and I love that, I need to let my followers know how great it is. No, life isn't perfect, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to have the discussion. It's just knowing to know where to reach out. That's what it boils down to. So 9888 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. You go to 9888lifeline.org. There you go. Anyways, 48 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's continue talking about some of the craziness that is going on in our lovely, because that's what we need to talk about. Let's talk real quick about the Snackle Box. Yes, if you love picnicking but have found it a dragging cheese board around is a bit of a pain, let me introduce you to the greatest invention to portable food service, the picnic basket. Yes, the Snackle Box, as you might know that guessed by its name, is more than a tackle box used for fishing, but instead being loaded with wriggly worms and hooks and all that kind of fun stuff. It's filled with snacks, and it is suggested that you start with meat, cheese, and a carb and build it out from pickles, olive fruits, nuts, and other items that you'd like to add. Those who know that it's perfect for bringing snacks onto a boat, to a park, or other sporting events, thanks to the wonders of TikTok, has now graduated with the Google curiosity of a fully fledged viral idea. One video posted on the American Woman named Skylar shows that an epic selection that she and her mother made for her cousin's bachelorette party. The now viral video has 2 million views with thousands of commenters marveling over the brilliance that is known as the Snackle Box. So let's see. If I've seen this, the woman could feed the entire wedding that she had there, and a couple would still be able to eat from it for their honeymoon. So there you go. That should give you an idea of what the size of this damn thing is. And this is a good idea based on the fact that I hate trying, to say carucho. So maybe that's something else to think about as we are talking. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. Never heard of an A-list? Well, let's take a listen. Have you ever gone up to a trip and only to discover that you're forgotten to bring along something that you really need? Well, you're definitely not alone. A new survey found that a shocking number of us forget travel essentials, including phones, before a trip, and surprising number of us won't go back to grab it, that ever so important item. One poll surveyed 2,000 Americans on behalf of DoorDash and found that 39% of people forget more than 5 items each month on average per person as to return home to retrieve it for the forgotten item in the same period. Other findings in the survey: 31% of adults accidentally leave their cell phone device at home, 28% forget water bottles or drinks, 25% forget to pack items such as deodorant, body lotion, and makeup. Respondents said that they will carry on without their essential, with just 19% saying that they'd go back on for the item if they left behind. If they are just one street away, 14% said that they found that it would never go back. 1 in 5 people said that they'd be able to go to a travel without their phone. I don't believe that. Trust me, if you've ever had delays at the airport lately, you know that you're definitely got a time to go back. I forget my swimming trunks once, and well, that was one crazy vacation. I'll just put it to you that way. So I remember when I was a kid, I was getting dropped off at school. My stepmother at the time forgot part of her fake teeth. We were a block away. I got to get turned back all the way back to the house for sure to get her fake teeth before she was able to drop us off at school, even though she wasn't ever getting out of the car. Talk about that. Things that happen in life. Anyways, with that being said, it is time to bring in John Smalls for the Motivation Minute. Take a listen.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Mickey. Brian Tracy said, "The key to success is to develop a winning edge." I love that. But what is a winning edge? I've watched people try to copy someone else who is successful. That rarely works. You look like a second-rate copy of them. Don't do that. Be a first-rate version of you. Nobody else on the planet is qualified to be that. So you be who God intended for you to be. Find a way to make a difference that fits within who you are. Then practice that until you're the best at that one thing. That can be your winning edge. You have an advantage over everyone else because nobody else is nearly as good at being you. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlyssaMorgan.com. The science of hormones is extremely complex, and yet hormones affect absolutely everything that's going on with our bodies. Therefore, it's helpful to remember a few simple tips to reset our hormones for weight, appetite, and body weight set point. First, sleep allows to reset hunger hormones leptin and ghrelin, as well as insulin and cortisol. If you have one night of bad sleep, you will temporarily worsen your insulin levels. Second, adding extra fiber into your meals helps with lowering appetite, insulin, and glucose. Look for functional fiber such as pectin, which also helps with reducing post-meal glucose. And third, increasing magnesium intake to lower inflammation and fat-burning properties of adiponectin. For more tips on wellness, check out AlyssaMorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, there you go. Currently 54 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday. So let's get into some more information before we get you out of here, because TikTok, baby, time is running out. So, let me take a look before I get into some other things. At the top of the hour, we will be going over to RadioBig.fm and doing the stuff that we do over there, just in case if you are interested in hanging out, listening to some music and doing all that kind of fun stuff. We'll have that going on over there. What else will be going on real quick? And then if you want to hang out over here, that's not a problem either, because you get to hang out with the people that are doing all the safety stuff on Safety FM. So no, not an issue over there. Anyways, today we'll have a new show starting off on RadioBig.fm. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the top of the hour. If you go over to RadioBig.fm, we'll talk about everything that's going on with the Van Camp and Morgan show, so don't worry about that. Anyways, before I get too far, let me talk about this. Governor Ron DeSantis is announcing a new opioid recovery program in Florida counties to combat overdoses of fentanyl.
These are counties that have a demonstrated need for the services, that they have existing programs that can serve as a foundation. They have strong interest from community partners.
DeSantis says the three-pronged approach will be focused on rescue, response, stabilization, and assessment on long-term treatment. So far this year, almost 2,000 fatal overdoses have been reported, according to Republican DeSantis. Governor DeSantis says that fentanyl is to blame for 70% of overdoses in the state and has increased by 800% since 2015.
We are announcing a massive expansion of a first-of-its-kind model of care for substance use disorder, coordinated opioid recovery, a network of addiction care, and we're calling it the CORE Network.
Governor DeSantis says that he has the three-prong approach.
The important rescue response that our EMTs do, and people that are in medical stabilization and assessment of the individual patient, and long-term treatment so that they can live productive lives without constantly relapsing and staying on this hamster wheel.
Okay, so there you go. That's what's going on there. Let's get into some other things. Let's talk about some stuff that happened back on this date. Back in 2020, the UN says the COVID pandemic has created the biggest educational disruption in history. School closes affected nearly 1.6 million students in about 190 countries. The true harm would not be known for years. So there you go. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on real quick today. I'm going to jump around and tell you a few of those. Meghan Markle turns 41 today. Barack Obama turns 61, and Billy Bob Thornton turns 67. Just so you can know that. Anyways, if you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those today for you. National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. What a great day to celebrate. And National Coast Guard Day. So some stuff to think about as you are hanging and banging and doing all the lovely stuff that you get to do today. With that being said, this is going to bring us close to the end of the show real quick. So let me give you a couple of things real quick before I let you go. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. If you don't know the introspection is, you need to take a long, hard look at yourself. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What trend or style made you say, that's it? I don't need to be with you anymore. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this one. It's really simple. On average, we do this 20 times a day. What is it? Complain about something. Yeah, what did you think I was going to say? Did you think I was going to say something magical? No, that's what we do. We complain about something. Anyways, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Thanks for hanging out this morning and doing all the lovely stuff that you get to do. Like I said, if you want to hang out with us on RadioBig.fm, we'll be going over there at the top of the hour and doing some more music stuff as we hang out over there. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is The Listener. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. To love and to be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Yeah, sunny day, sunny day, sunny